Good morning. My name is Patrick Cnubben. I work for New Energy Coalition in the Northern Netherlands, and I'm going to explain you how our Hydrogen Valley in the Northern Netherlands has been designed and came about. First and foremost, I would like to thank Professor Steinmüller, the host. Thank you for inviting me and having me, giving me the opportunity to introduce to you and your distinguished guests the making of the Hudson Valley in Northern Netherlands, which could be a blueprint for other regions, and I sincerely hope a blueprint for the Wasserstoff Initiative Vortragender Austria Power and Gas, WIVA PNG. So let me start. I'll first give you an introduction on the backgrounds. Which were the main drivers on becoming a Hydrogen Valley, and then gradually go through the storyline and end up with a nice proposition for you. Okay, let me get started. Let's first start with the location. Where are we located? You can see the northwestern part of Europe. The bluish part is the North Sea, which is bordering, let's say, a great part of the Netherlands. And in the yellowish dot in the middle, that is our Hudson Valley, located in the provinces of Friesland, Groningen, and Drenthe. Now let me get to the situation. Here you can see another visual of the region. You can see the two provinces, Groningen to the right-hand side, Friesland to the left-hand side, and to the south, Drenthe. The gray spots are the natural gas fields, and the red dots are slight tremors, slight earthquakes induced by the natural gas extraction, and that has triggered becoming a Hudson Valley, because the Netherlands has gained a lot of prosperity through the extraction and the transport of natural gas, but it also has some problems with it, with like the earthquakes I just showed you. And the effect on the region is dramatic, because our government has decided to stop the natural gas extraction from the region as of 2023. Here you can see a projection which was made for 2025. The top graph is the cumulative gas extraction from the Groningen field, but the bottom graph, that's the interesting one, that's the effect on the regional economy, on the regional economic growth when the gas is turned off. Here it's projected to 2025, but it will be 2023, and we estimate the reduction in economic growth to be 8 to 10% in the minus, even more. And there are a lot of jobs involved with that, about 20,000. So having mastered the art of transporting vast volumes of natural gas has given us an opportunity to step into hydrogen. But we need a plan, and the plan has been named the Green Hydrogen Economy in the Northern Netherlands. Was conceived, amongst others, with the help of Professor Ed van Week from the Technical University of Delft, who at the time was also working for us. Here you can see what we are going to do. Again, the bluish part is the North Sea. We will harvest offshore wind from the North Sea, bring it onshore, combine it with onshore wind farms and solar parks, and then bring the energy to the grid. But the grid will have some constraints in dealing with this amount of power, and there hydrogen comes in, because hydrogen will be converted through electrolysis of water into hydrogen and oxygen, and will be stored on the ground, as you can see in the middle, in large salt caverns, and from there on be evacuated in the natural gas grid, bringing it to all kinds of places in industry, mobility, and the built environment. Apart from that, we are also, of course, transporting the hydrogen via trailers to fueling stations, as long as the grid connections haven't been made. So we want to make some dedicated steps in that, and putting this on the table has led the industry to come up with a hydrogen investment plan, in which you can see two provinces, Groningen on the top and Drenthe on the bottom, with an investment agenda of about 3 billion euros made up in 2019, and that, together with the ambition of the region, has led us to apply for a Hydrogen Valley. And the background on that is that we want to get to a situation where hydrogen will be used all over the society. So deep penetration of hydrogen in society. At the moment, we are more or less here. We actually are somewhat more to the right, and you can see three elements in this graph. The first one is let's say the early beginner, and the last one is a fully comprehensive integrated hydrogen economy. And on the way to becoming that, we will use the Hydrogen Valley instrument, as designed by the Fuel Cell and Hydrogen Joint Undertaking, which is a very good instrument to organize and consolidate activities. So we want to go here, and that is actually our path of the Hydrogen Valley prospect, but also of the project HEAVENN. The Northern Netherlands, as I said, has put its heads together and decided to become a Hydrogen Valley, Northern Netherlands. And we have built a consortium in doing that of about 30 entities from 7 countries. All kinds of parties in it, big ones, small ones, knowledge institutions, consultancies, etc. And we have gained a lot of interest from politicians nationally and internationally, and even from the European institutions. A lot of MEPs are supporting this idea, rightfully so, I would say. The project we designed is named HEAVENN. As you can see in my background, that's the place I am. HEAVENN stands for Hydrogen Energy Applications in Valley Environments in the Northern Netherlands. There is a little film of that I will not show, but it will give you an impression of welcoming you to the first Hydrogen Valley of Europe. The film can be linked via YouTube. It's about 3 minutes. Gives you a nice impression in a very simple and let's say tangible way. And of course, we could not have done this without the help of Europe, and especially the fuel cell and hydrogen undertaking. This is always a frightening picture. This is the project, and but have some time. Let it get into your minds. You can see 4 clusters: cluster 1, cluster 2, cluster 3, and cluster 4. Cluster 1 is the Eemshaven-Delfzijl cluster near the shore, near the North Sea. The wind power comes in, will be electrolyzed, converted into hydrogen and oxygen, put on ring lines on the chemical park in Delfzijl and brought to, for instance, a methanol factory, or methanol plant, which can produce green kerosene then, and to a new to be built kerosene plant, in which green and synthetic kerosene will be used for aviation purposes. The second cluster is about bringing the hydrogen there and storing it in an underground cavern, which the experiments were successfully executed in the past weeks, and that is connected to housing about a new suburb of the municipality of Hoogeveen with 100 houses dedicated for hydrogen, and in the next phase 1,500 houses to be retrofitted to hydrogen. And the retrofit will be based on the transition from natural gas to hydrogen, probably via mixing, but could also be directly to 100% hydrogen. The third cluster is in Emmen, where an old former gas cleaning installation for sour gas cleaning is located, has been decommissioned, but all the underground infrastructure, the gas infrastructure, is still in place. That location is called GZI Next. In Dutch, it's Gaszuiveringsinstallatie Next, so the next industry hub 2.0, and it's connected to an industry 4 kilometers distance. Will be connected via pipelines, and there will be a new fueling station as well, fueling the 10 hydrogen buses, which will get there at the beginning of 2021, in addition to the 20 buses already in operation as of I think beginning of mid this year in Groningen. So we will have a very large zero-emission fleet operating in the Groningen and Drenthe area, with at least 30 buses on hydrogen and some 150 buses running fully electric. So it's a very, very big zero-emission fleet. And the fourth cluster is actually the combination of all mobility aspects. So we got several fuel stations, we got more than 100 passenger cars, heavy trucks, light-duty trucks, coaches will be developed to run on hydrogen. So that's another step coming from the bus arena, and that is supported by all kinds of flanking studies done by the partners. Again, the deepest regards to the fuel cell and hydrogen undertaking who helped us doing this. And this is an overview of all the partners. You can see big ones, small ones, some are known, some might not be known, but it's a very comprehensive and a very good organized consortium. Then next level, if we produce hydrogen, we need to export it, and you can see the gray line, the yellow lines. These are the lines indicating the hydrogen backbone. Some of the natural gas pipelines coming from the Slochtern field will be repurposed into hydrogen, and actually, as you can see, our region, the Hydrogen Valley region, is a very important element of that. So we will demonstrate how it works and then enlarge it, make it bigger, and bringing the hydrogen to the customer centers in the 5 industry locations in the Netherlands: Eemshaven, Delfzijl, Rotterdam, Amsterdam, Zeeland, and Camelot. And Camelot actually near the German town of German city of Aachen, to give you an impression on the geographics. As I stated, we have this investment plan of 3 billion euros, and the next step is another investment plan on a larger scale, the Hydrogen Investment Plan 2.0, with an investment potential of 9 billion euros. And that will enable that a large part of the industry will go zero emission, and also enabling the use of a lot of green hydrogen. And as you can see, we are in the middle of that. So the HEAVENN proposal in Hydrogen Valley triggers all these, let's say, follow-up investments. On the European level, we are working together with the European Hydrogen Valleys platform. Europe doesn't so much think in countries, but more in regions. A lot of regions are already connected to this platform. I think it's up to 60 now. And this picture you see, I think it's 1.5 years old, but it's indicating where we're going. So we also work together on the European level. Next level, global. Together with Mission Innovation, Fuel Cell and Hydrogen Joint Undertaking identified about 40 hydrogen valleys in Europe. And a hydrogen valley is an arena where you can, or area where you can sit in your car, drive through it in an afternoon, and come about all the elements in the green hydrogen value chain. So production, logistics, the use in industry, mobility, and built environment. 42 were identified, and I'm happy to say that we are in it as HEAVENN, as the first hydrogen valley in Europe. We are working together with the Green Highland, another hydrogen valley project in Europe, and Big Hit in the Orkneys. But I sincerely hope that we can extend our collaboration with the WIVA PNG in the coming period. And I think it's a very, very, very good idea that you are undertaking, let's say, under the lead of, amongst else, Professor Steinmüller. It's a very good thing. Keep it up and make the next step. Well, what's the perspective for the hydrogen valleys? We want to connect the hydrogen valleys. We want more of the same. We want more hydrogen valleys in Europe. We want to connect them, and by connecting them, green hydrogen will be bigger, become a commodity, and will help us combating the climate changes we are facing. Again, this is another picture on the next level. Here I indicated more or less the hydrogen valleys under construction in Europe. Again, in our region, the Green Highland one in Mallorca, the Big Hit one in Orkneys, and again, I think working together with WIVA, the Wasserstoff Initiative Vorzeigeregion Austria, PNG, Power and Gas, is excellent to work together. And I think this is a very good proposition you have, and we are really looking forward to collaborate with you and take the next step. And to all the policymakers in Austria, this is a very good thing. This will make things happen. If we can connect all the hydrogen valleys like a string of pearls, we will get there, and we will tackle the challenges we have. This is from the Netherlands. Thank you very much, and have a good time. Have a good congress, good conference, and see you next time. Bye bye.